Welcome to Pay Attention, a podcast guiding you from the chaos of the mind to the clarity of the heart. Here's your host, Holly McNEILL.
Hello and welcome. Sorry for a little bit of a delay if you are live with us, but you internationally today. First, I wanted to re-welcome our guest from last week, Anne Van de Winkel. Thank you so much for coming back this week.
With great pleasure. Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm super excited. Anne was on last week talking about the mind-body connection, and during that time, I asked you the question about energy, how we feel, the life source, and if research is really measuring that. Mm-hmm. And your answer was maybe in the future because we don't have the instruments for that yet.
Right.
Perhaps better than that, today we have someone who can bring that energy to life. And thanks to Anne, your longtime associate colleague, partner in all of this, Marc Noël is coming to us all the way from Belgium. Marc, you're here.
I'm here.
Oh my goodness. We had so much technical difficulty this morning, but here we are this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are. Mm-hmm. Again, Anne, coming from Minnesota, I wanted, hearts go out for hope and healing. And when we met with Marc in the studio, it was, he wasn't in his studio, as you'll see in the recording, because he was stuck in a snowstorm. So hopefully you have better weather now.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. So to not waste a lot of time, we've got a great episode for you today, and we're going to get right into the recording so we can reintroduce Anne and Marc's wonderful work. So please enjoy. Thank you for joining us here on Pay Attention. I've been on this journey to clarity for over 24 years. And one of the things that most amazes me about this journey is that everything I looked at, from science, neuroscience, psychology, Buddhism, spirituality, they all pointed back to these simple truths about who we are, about awareness, about consciousness. And so one of my goals has become to try to bridge science, the known world, with that lived contemplative experience. And I'm so excited today to reintroduce you to a guest we had last week, and to someone who really sits at the intersection of art and energy and consciousness. So welcome back, Anne Van de Winkel. Thanks so much for coming back. We just saw you, hopefully, if this works out, we just saw you last week. So thank you so much for joining us. As a reminder, associate professor at the U of M. And just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm an associate professor. My background is physical therapy. I do research on really bringing together Western, Eastern, and complementary and integrative medicine, and looking at how I can help people improve their body awareness and their mindset for those that have chronic pain and chronic neurologic disorders like stroke or spinal cord injury. And so specifically for this topic, also neuroarts, and I'm an associate of Marc Noël's company, Fushigi Showa. So that's how we also connect.
So she introduced our very special guest, Anne brought with her Marc Noël from Belgium. Thank you so much for joining us today. This whole idea of neuroarts and how that affects the mind-body connection is everything I think that a journey to awareness is pointing to. But Marc, please introduce yourself. I know you're stuck in a snowstorm in Belgium. Sorry about that. But just tell the audience a little bit about yourself, and we'll get right into your work.
Okay, so today I'm especially here for everything what is related to my quantum paintings, but I do many things in life. I have a company who is called Fushigi Showa, through which I have also a therapeutic practice for humans, but also working with clinics with horses. And as from this year, I will also expand it to dogs and cats, and working with veterinarians on a whole other level, so bring not only things to humans, but also to animals besides horses. And so today I'm here to talk about my quantum paintings. Quantum paintings is something that it's not doing, it's being. Every single time I take a canvas, and those are big canvases, it's 100 centimeters by 80 centimeters, so you have to translate it in inches, right? But every single time I take a canvas, I take off the plastic sheet, and there the story starts. And so it could be that I'm making one painting, just one painting, or suddenly I have to start a series of 3, 4, 5, 6 paintings, and they are all related. And so the very powerful thing is when the canvas is there and it's completely blank, everything is already there. The only thing I have to do is take a brush, colors, use my hands, and then just execute what I have to do. And everything is going to breath. So for those who would like to see more, I have different websites on where I have videos, I have explanations, so that you can go in depth of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Because if you ask me to explain that today, then we're here for at least one day. Okay, I'm here stuck in the snowstorm. That's okay for me. But
yeah. Well, we got a lot of time. You know, the whole idea of it's already there, and just being the instrument through with this energy, this chi is flowing and brought onto the canvas it just shows that, you know, awareness is in all of us, right? And you've been able to take that and to, you know, to harness that chi into a painting to serve others, which, you know.
And I would like to mention a very special experience I did a few years ago. It was during an exhibition that I gave, and I had one painting, one canvas, and when I created the painting, I put it in front of me, and I took a brush, but without paint. And so every single time I painted on the white canvas without paint, with an intention. And then during the exhibition, I had all the other paintings with paint. And there was one painting, and I called it the white painting. But there was nothing on it. And then visitors came, and they were surprised because they saw all the paintings and they saw that one canvas with nothing on it. That's what they thought. And so people came in, and especially kids came in, and they said, "What is this? This is a painting, but it's an invisible painting." And so they were confused, and I say, "Close your eyes and go into the feeling and let me know what you see." And it was amazing, you know. So many people were standing in front of a blank canvas, and they could see exactly what I've painted. And the beautiful thing is, when I did that exercise, that experience, my assistant was next to me. And so I told to her, I'm now taking, within the intention, that color, and I will draw this and this and this. So she was present when I created this, and she was also there at the exhibition. And so when she heard it, she said, "This is really amazing." See, the human brain needs to see things, but everything is there, you know.
Yeah, that we were talking about that while you were trying to get, you know, through your snowstorm and join us today. That if they don't see it, they don't believe it. But your painting and your work and your research and trying to research this and show people, it's like, you know, everything has to be proven that it works. But this has been wisdom that's been around, this energy, this healing, this chi for so long. But as you said, your work is an experience, and for you to be able to take this energy, this chi, this ancient wisdom, this conscious awareness, it's actually where we started, right? But how did you know how to bring it to a canvas, how to put it in a painting such that someone else might experience it?
Okay, how much time do I have? Because this is
Well,
a question that they asked me over and over and over again, so I can speak for hours. Because once
okay.
you ask me that question, my wife would say, "Oh, damn, no,
Oh
she
God,
asked the
sorry.
question.
Oh no,
Don't
maybe I
do
should
that."
have asked at the end.
No,
Okay,
no.
give us the elevator pitch. Give us the shorter
Okay,
version.
I give you the short version. The short version is I've been like that since birth. I was a little kid, a special little kid who was asking bizarre questions, strange questions, asked bizarre questions that was not in relationship with the age of that kid, you know.
Uh-huh.
And every single time they gave me an answer, I said, why? Why? It wasn't something that was well received by adults,
Mm-hmm.
all those questions. And so what I did, I always went to go further and further and further to see what was behind the doors. So I've lived all kinds of experiences. I had an experience where my mother died when I was 12. And that with me triggered something that say, what is behind death?
Yeah.
And so from there, as a kid, that's the power with the kids. The kid has no barriers, no
Yes.
limitations, no reason, especially when it's linked with the heart, you know.
Yes.
And so I started to travel in that other side, whatever it is, that other side. But the major thing that changed my life, just between the two, I started martial arts when I was 7. So I was in that relationship because you talked about chi, so now I can talk about chi, you know. And I was already in contact with chi. For me, that was completely normal, being in contact with that energy and all those
Normal.
things.
Yeah.
And so once I traveled at the other side after my mother died, I had another experience when I was 26. I had a very major, severe car accident, and I had a near-death experience.
Of course.
And from there, something shifted so gigantically, you know, because everything became what's the not normal for the human beings became for me completely normal.
Yeah.
And so it was for me a learning process to stay in contact with the normal that was for me not normal anymore.
You know, I feel like I'm going through that learning process right now, because you're right. When kids are so open, but they're not taught about this question. They're often, all their questioning and their wonderment is tampered. And it's only for me, after I've crawled my way out of 20, 30, 40 years of thinking, that I find that normal you're talking about, that calm, that peace. I'm only finding glimpses of it. So to be able to be so familiar with that, I can completely and totally see how you got to this point of creating these paintings. And let's talk about your research for a little bit. So so Marc is your mentor. You met in Belgium, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yep. And you have 3 pieces to the research that you're looking at doing. And the one is this neuro arts, which is more brought about like 2021, recognized by the NIH. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so good on you for bringing this, something that you can't see and understand, and trying to bring the science behind it, because that'll only make it stronger. And I wonder, when you first brought this up, or what you're hoping to get out of the research, so that people might see this more clearly.
Yes, so I'll start with my personal experience because behind me are two of Marc's quantum paintings. The one here is called Obsessed with Life, Phase 3, Find Me. And so that is a part of the series that Marc was telling about. So this is Phase 3, so the third painting in that series. And then this one here is called Fusion, and in the middle is also a heart. And so when I first encountered these quantum paintings, and every day now that I have them here in my home and in my office, it is such a vital piece for me to connect with them. And it's every time a different journey. And so I love to find ways that are obviously non-invasive, but that are beyond out of the box, ways to help people find themselves, find a balance, find harmony, and find their own authenticity. And so when I got the opportunity to do this or to receive this fellowship, especially with the emphasis for neuro arts, my first question was to Marc, can we collaborate on this? Because neuro arts blueprint is meant to be a collaboration between artists and scientists to find a way to help healing and medicine. So that is the whole point. And then the NIH center that I'm involved with, called the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, specifically is driving neuroarts for people who have chronic anxiety and depression and chronic pain. So from my background of the body awareness, and obviously also mental well-being, I wanted to see how these paintings could help students with anxiety and stress, because more and more students are dealing with this, especially since the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And also how we can help people who are in a wheelchair and who have a spinal cord injury. And the reason why I mentioned this, and we haven't talked about this yet in this podcast, is that Marc not only has these physical paintings, but he also has his paintings in a virtual gallery that you can visit on your monitor, on your computer, but also with a headset in the metaverse. And so when I bought a headset because I wanted to experience these quantum paintings in that realm. And I realized that when you have this headset on, you are the avatar, this virtual person in the virtual world. And so that gave me the idea of people who are, say, 30 years already in the wheelchair, their brain forgot how it was to walk. But if they have this headset on, this is a natural walking now that they do while at the same time experiencing the energy from these quantum paintings. And the other beautiful thing that happens in this virtual world is that Marc also developed AI animations with them. So it's not only the energy of the paintings as they are, but now you also see them coming alive and getting this whole adventure.
Yeah, you're way ahead of me. I was going to ask, how do people experience this? But let's back up just a little bit for our listeners, for people who be like, I love this, but I don't exactly know what we're talking about. So either one of you, the chi is defined as energy, as awareness in motion. How would you define chi to somebody who really is just hearing this for the first time?
I'll let Marc
for me, that will be very easy.
Okay, excellent.
One day I gave a seminar and I had all kinds of people at the seminar, doctors, scientists, accountants, and all kinds of people, very left brain people. Mm-hmm. And we were sitting at the dinner table and the accountant who was sitting next to me, he said, but what is this chi all about?
Yes.
Because he was an expert accountant, So he said, what is this chi? He said, would you like to experience it? He said, yes. And we were sitting at a round table. I say, okay. So I gave them an exercise with their hands, a simple exercise like this. I said, you take your two hands, take one hand, and with your two knuckles here, you're going to tap them in this area of your hand. You see, like this. So those two knuckles are going into that area. And so your wrist has to be very loose. So it's not a strong one, it's a supple one. And then you have to just bring your two knuckles into that area and tap it like this. See? Just like this. And you do that for 30 seconds, 1 minute. And once that is done, you take your both hands, bring them together, and then you do just, you see this?
Mm-hmm.
So you're rubbing them together,
Mm-hmm.
and in a very subtle way, your fingers are overlapping the other hand, and you still stay in contact. You do that for another 30 seconds. And when you have done that, you open your hands like this, you close your eyes, and then you start feeling something happening in your hands. As if there was a ball or a feeling. For every person, it's different. Can you feel that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I did
And so
feel
when
that. I
you
mean, I
do
did.
it, the more you're doing it,
Yeah.
the more you get used to it. And the beautiful thing is when we did the exercise, and so everybody did it on the table, and the accountant said, he said, "Who? What's this? Take it back! Take it back! Take it back!" It was
Oh my
so
gosh.
funny, because he could not see it, he could feel it. And then he said, "Okay, what we will do now, we will pass the chi on to the other one." And so I showed them how they could. And so I said, every single time that you pass it on to the other one, it will come stronger. So finally, when it will coming back to you, it will be stronger. And so nobody saw something, but they felt it, and they became believers just by feeling it.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
one of the reasons, because you have to know that I have also a very, very, very well developed left brain. So I love science, and I love all those things that have to be controlled and understood by the brain. The only thing is that I've learned my brains to fuse, going in a fusion. And so even those things that are not logical or not visible, that I will develop some tools to make them visible. And so one of the slogans of my company is where the impossible becomes possible, or where the invisible becomes visible. And that's why a few years ago, I was approached by doctors in America who said, we would like to test you to see all those things that you do with energy. What is worth? I say, okay, let's do that. And so that's what happened. And then the final result was when they asked, what is it about? And they said, he's the real thing. I said, of course.
Yes.
And that's things making what for you, each one of you is invisible. I make them visible through all kinds of things that your left brain can say, oh yeah, that I can see. And the reason why I created that metaverse and with all that virtual reality world is to create an interface between the physical painting that you have on a canvas, that you can see, that you can even eventually touch, and create an interface where the metaverse, with the MetaQuest or with the Quest, with the mask, gives you a transition, because all the paintings that you will see in the metaverse are real paintings that you will find in the real world. See what I mean? On a canvas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's for instance say that the painting Samurai, you will see that painting. It's in magazines and stuff, and it's on YouTube, and then you will see that same painting in the metaverse. But the only thing is, I've worked with that painting in the metaverse with AI, and so you can go into the painting in the metaverse where you will discover another world that will open up to you and where you see me as a samurai in a virtual reality world in Japan. Normally, the intention is to go much, much further, but all those things I'm doing on the spatial, so the platform where I'm working on, what I bring on is too big now for them. And so everything is blocked because all those things that I'm creating are so big in capacity that they cannot handle it. And so, and myself, we are looking for suppliers. We have already contacted some suppliers to see if they give us a platform that is more powerful. But so far, what I create is too big for the world, and I'm so used to that, because I've always have to wait until humans are ready.
Wait until the world is ready, and of course, as long as you're here in this human journey, you will find, whatever, you'll find your way. But my question, what a gift, right? So, what a gift for the world, and science, of course, is catching up with all of this, with the understanding of the quantum field and quantum entanglement, and how the energy works. And in meditation, if you're quiet enough, if you spend enough time in silence, you start to feel that expansion on your own. But both of those, it takes a lot for somebody to get there. And what you're offering is the ability to see and experience this chi, this energy, this healing, either virtually or through your paintings. So definitely somebody can go to your work and see this and experience every day, as Anne does with her paintings. But if somebody really wanted to become familiar with this real world, is this the way to do it? Is it meditation? If this is the journey to this clarity, and your paintings is definitely, it's kind of like the back door, right, to get to it. How does somebody make that part of their life and part of kind of their journey?
Okay, first, it's not a back door; it's a front door. It's a
huge,
big
absolutely right.
door.
It is the front door, but none of us are seeing the door. It's so big, nobody can see. You're correct.
So one of the things, Holly, that I do in everything that I do, I make things for each one of you easy.
Yes,
so
you do.
I'm so lucky with my brain.
Yes, you are.
That I can turn very complex things into very simple things and then explain them to each one of you. And so if you see my websites, you will see that I've already done a lot of exhibitions all over the world. I really do a lot of exhibitions. And so one of the reasons that I do that is to make sure that those paintings are visible all over the world so that people can experience it from there. Okay, but they have to go to the exhibitions, and I cannot attend every single exhibition that I do, because even sometimes I do exhibitions in Dubai, I do in France, and do in Canada at the same time. That's a little bit complicated to be everywhere. But some exhibitions I will be present, and when people know that I will be physical present, they are completely bananas, because they know it will be so special, because when I'm there at an exhibition, I will guide people to a whole other level than when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if you see on internet, if you see on YouTube, if you see the articles, if you see, I've already written one book and now there is a second on the way. So I create all kinds of things, physical things that your brain thinks is physical, you see. It's in the matrix of what you're thinking. Those things are there, and they already have that energy. So the only thing people must do is go to the front door, because that door is so big, so gigantically big, that you have so many choices that you can not only go to paintings, you can go to YouTubes, you can go to books, you can go to all those things that I create. And then the door, that big front door, is within you.
Yes.
It is each individual, and that's the big difference when I work with horses and when I work with humans. It's I had never had an horse that I came to the horse and I said, hold on, first I'm going to tell you my story and my dad and my
Yeah.
mom and my
Yeah.
family and
Yeah.
my partner, and the horse is there and said, let's do this.
Let's do this. Well, that was what I was going to say. People don't need you to be there, right? And that's part of your research, and to experience this. I mean, I would assume that someone can just walk up to it and feel it, that it
Yes.
emanates from the painting.
Very, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's part of your research. I mean, having people explain it, people listening to the podcast, they're going to go in it from their head, right? All right, I'm supposed to be seeing this, but it's already there. And you said when you make things easy, are you saying you make awakening easy, awareness easy, healing easy, all of those things?
You cannot imagine.
Yeah, you're right.
The
You are
thing
very
is,
lucky, Marc. You are very lucky, Marc. I know exactly what you're talking about. What a blessing.
And that's why I
world.
take my life very seriously, because I know I have to pass it forward.
Very good.
And all those people that know me know how much I give to the world.
Yes.
You cannot even imagine. The only thing is, once you start to know me, I became like a drug, you know.
Well, we started with a joke before we even started recording, so there's humor in there also. But anyway.
always. The thing is, once you have a taste of that and you feel it, it doesn't have to go through your brain, because you're feeling it.
Right.
And once a human being is feeling it, it's happening. That inner door within them is opening, and that's why I'm so passionate, because I'm doing a lot of things. I'm working 7 days a week. I sleep more or less 3 hours a night. I'm always very busy, but it's every single night when I go to sleep and I put my head on the pillow, I have that question that I had since I was a kid. And the question is always that I ask myself, did you give everything you had to give with who you are and all your competencies and your knowledges? And my answer has always has been yes. And Anne knows that, because she's my associate now for quite some years.
Yeah.
And she knows how far I stretch things to make sure that I can pass it forward to each one of you.
Wow. Well, I'd love to keep talking about this forever, but this seems like a beautiful place to end. It's so if you're listening out there, these quantum paintings are available to you virtually, and the journey, of course, to the inside, to this big door, is right in front of you. So how do they find you, Marc? Where do they find these paintings? Where do they find your website?
It's very easy. You have those websites, and can give you all the information.
Sounds great.
You have websites, you have YouTube, you have articles, you have you have so many things.
How could they miss you? It's such a big door. You're creating such a big door. I love it.
Yeah, I know. No, even if you don't look for me, you will find me, you know?
That's great. Sometimes it's true. You just are looking for better. You're looking for more in this life. And people like you show up. Thank you, Marc, so much for being here. And Anne, good luck with your research. I can't wait to hear more about how that goes. And thank you for bringing this to us. We'll put everything in the notes, and a blessing for our listeners today. So thank you.
I think what is important for all your viewers or your listeners that are there, that this today is just a little seed that has been offered to them.
Of course.
But when you have that mustard seed, that very tiny seed,
Yes.
that seed has a potential of what's inside that seed. But each individual, and that's called free will, and that's a very strong thing that every single human has received during his incarnation. It's that seed of free will. Some people incarnate and die with that seed that was not planted.
Yes, of course.
Some people plant it after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 30 years, 50, 70 years after their incarnation, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I work a lot with pregnant ladies to make sure that that little kid inside already plant the seed during the period he's in the womb.
That's amazing, Mark, because I don't understand why we know all of this, but we don't teach our children. So that's beautiful. So for all of
every
you,
listener, every of your listeners
every
now
one of
has a
you out
seed.
there listening, viewing this today, you have a seed, and it is that seed of being on this human journey and seeing what brought you here, which is beautiful and peaceful and light. So, Mark, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
What a blessing. And I will see everyone again on Pay Attention. Wow, that I did
Let applause them. Bravo.
I did the editing on this, so I've got to see it 2 or 3 times through. But very lovely, very heart opening. It is the journey, right? This human journey we're on to awareness. And I so appreciate you bringing this into your research. And we did have a great question from our listeners. I'm going to bring that question up now from Jamie. What role does the heart play in the dynamic of feeling and open awareness? How does the heart mediate this, and how can quantum paintings enhance this dynamic? That's a lot of questions. So, Mark, can you answer? Can you answer?
Yes,
Jamie?
of course. I have all the answers. Just fire the questions. So the first thing is you have to create a dialogue with your ego. So one of the things I'm teaching is give a name to your ego. Why? If you want to communicate with somebody and you say you there, or you say ego, everybody's ego is ego. If you give your ego a name, you will speak to someone who will be listening to the name you gave him. My ego's name is Igor. And so I have a very, very, very good relationship with Igor, which means that I know if I want to live in this world where you're living into, you need an ego to be compatible with all the rules and all those things that humans are creating, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why your ego is for, to connect. And once you have a good relationship, a dialogue with your ego, and your ego is coming to you and they say, you know, this is not right. This should be. I say, whoa, 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 whoa. So I would say, okay, Igor, what's the message? Why are you here? And then, of course, as I have a very good relationship with Igor, he will explain it to me. And once it is explained, I will say, okay. And so he will ask me, can I go now? I say, okay. And he's going to the Bahamas and he's on vacation. And from time to time, very, very, very occasionally, he's going, have you seen this? I say, yes, Igor. Okay. So I'm out again. And so that's the first thing you have to do, is to have that very friendly relationship with your ego. Why? Because your ego has a mission. The mission of your ego is don't move, stay where you are.
Don't open your heart, right? Yeah, stay in your head.
Don't do that. That's dangerous because
Yes,
that's the unknown.
right.
Ooh, now you're in danger.
I hear you. I know that. I haven't aimed my ego, but definitely.
Please do, and you will see how much
I
fun
will.
it will be.
I will. I do have a relationship with, but definitely trying to keep you in your head for sure.
I give them a name that's funny. Igor. Why did I choose Igor? Because it's a Viking and it's the one who is always very strong, but he's funny, he's funny. And that's why I call him Igor. So use a name that for you is strong but funny at the same time. And so once you have developed that good, harmonious relationship with your ego, then you can go to that connection with your heart. Why? Because if you go directly to the connection with your heart and you have not a good relationship with your ego, he will prevent and do whatever it takes that you don't go there.
100%.
So, first step, good relationship with your ego, have a good dialogue, not a discussion, a good dialogue. And when you're friends, you say, whatever the name of your ego is, can I invite you now to travel with me and we're gonna see the heart?
Mhm.
And that's the way you have to do it. And so, as you saw in the previous podcast that we had, I enjoyed it very much. So thank you for
You're welcome.
having created like this.
It is fun to
Uh,
sit and watch it and to take it
yeah,
in.
yeah,
Yes.
it was great. Especially that when I was sitting over there, I was completely blocked in that snowstorm, and this was funny, and it was really funny. And so what I do in life is I create so many tools that your ego can recognize. And once you have that good relationship with your ego, he will, or she will, whatever it is, allow it to go into that. So if you see my websites, because I've only seen one website on your screen, I have many websites
We'll
and
put
things.
the others on all the show notes, so check
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all connected. So if you go on one, you will see the links for all the other ones. That's very easily done. But the thing is that I have created so many tools where your left brain can say, okay, this is this and this and this, and you will see articles that have been written by art critics, curators that were academic art specialists. And in the beginning, they were, what's this?
Mm-hmm.
And when you see now the articles that are produced, they are beautiful, but every single article says, yeah, he's completely out of the box, but that's so refreshing.
Yes, it is. And that
Yeah,
answers the second part of this question. That your quantum paintings helps to open that heart, to invite the ego to come along and to open the heart. And so those tools you're talking about, there's so many of them. And I'm blown away by the whole metaverse thing and that you can bring that chi
yeah.
into the digital world, making it
You've
available.
seen it, right? I just give
Yes.
you a little teaser. I like to tease people. So, oh, more, we want more, we want more, we want more. But
Yes.
you felt that, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
It's
it
a
was only 10 seconds, 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. I've come the long way, right?
Mhm,
I get what you're talking about. It took me a long time to get there. So I so appreciate these tools
mhm,
that you bring to people to help them because it's the journey to right here. It's a journey to right now. It's always the reality that's with us. We just can't see
yeah.
it. And so your tools make the invisible visible.
Okay.
And your work as well to show science, the scientific world that this is real and this is true. It's been around for so long,
Yeah.
and to bring that, it's just it's a blessing. So
Can I just share something very shortly? But
yes,
it will give you so much information.
okay, and then we'll wrap up after that.
You know me, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, please share. Please.
Okay, because I heard that you said it needs time, blah, 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 blah. That's not true.
Yeah, I know.
And so now comes, it's a little story,
Okay,
but in that little story, you will have so many answers. And
great.
you have the answer why time does not exist
Yep, great.
unless you create it and you make this out of time. So in November 2026, I was in America
Wait, this
to
is
meet
November 26. Hasn't happened.
2025. Yeah, I'm always in the futures. So
Okay.
sorry.
Time doesn't
It's,
exist anyway, so it's all good.
you see, that's what I mean. That's so it was November 2025, and I was there visiting my teams, and there was a lovely couple, Jill and Bill. who had purchased one of my paintings, and they knew that I was in America, and they said, "Would it be possible to meet the artists of the painting?" And I said, "Of course." And so I went over to them, to their house, lovely couple.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came, they were very enthusiastic, very friendly. And I heard the dog who was barking like hell.
Okay.
And Jill was so unease with that, and she said, "I'm so sorry because we have a little puppy of 6 months and it's barking and and I said, "Let me see your puppy." I said, "No, no, no, you're all dressed up and it will jump on you. And we've tried everything and behavior and nothing is working. It's completely crazy." I said, "Let me see the dog. The dog is calling for me." And Jill was looking at me. That was the first time she met me. And so I went to where the dog was, and the dog was there and it was barking. And when he saw me, I started to speak with the dog and was there also with one. So they have lived that experience. And so I said to Jill, "Can I be in contact with the dog? So don't say anything. Go upstairs where the other people were." And I said, "Ask them not to speak to the dog, not to me. Don't do anything. Let me handle it." And so I came up, and the dog was there with me, and we were sitting on the table, and the dog came, and he was there enjoying. And for me, he's the best scientist in the world. He has 4 legs, a tail, and 2 big ears.
Yep.
And what happened? That dog, when he saw my quantum painting, which was attached on the wall, he was going to the quantum painting. He was lying in front of it, and he was calm. No behavioral training or whatever. We left Jill and Bill. You should have seen the dog. Since that day, everything is perfect, right? Because and she has lived it also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing I see with animals is that they don't need time.
You're right.
So
The
the
perfect,
message
yeah, they
the
don't have.
message I would like to give to all your listeners is if you have a situation, whatever situation it is,
Mhm,
and your brain says to you, "I will need some time."
mhm.
The only thing your brain says, "I have so much resistance towards that." You're afraid, it's awkward, whatever the reason is. But if you say to yourself, "I need more time," that's how great your ego is. You
Ah,
can you
mhm.
can choose to make it. And my teams know
Yeah.
that I'm working very, very fast. They can keep up with me. I can tell you. Why? Time
Yes.
doesn't exist for me. So that's important for your listeners.
Yeah, you're right. So when I say it took a lot of time, that's the ego
Yeah.
talking. And I love it, the researcher, the dog, because there's not all of that complexity that we have.
Yeah.
So beautiful, beautiful story. Dog, and I was going to ask you about the animals, which we could, I'm sure, talk so much more about.
Yes, of course.
I'm getting some great comments. People are just really thankful for this, for your time. Eeyore just wants love and affection. All right. Anyway, thank you both so much. This has been, and like you said, Mark, this is just the seed.
Yeah, it is.
So please,
Yes.
we'll have all of your websites information in the show
Yeah.
notes. Yeah, share this. If this really touched you, please share this message. Please share this recording with people. Thank you both so much. And I'm so, we had so many technical difficulties. We had our producer was out. I had to my hardwire, my internet. Mark had, all of this stuff. So, but here we are right now. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you both so very much. And I hope to have you back. Maybe when your research is complete, we can talk more. Talk about the
To,
animals, bring the animals on.
love to.
Thank you both so very much. Blessing.
So thank you for all. Thank you.
All right.
And be a good gardener as from now
Yeah.
with a seed.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You guys stay on. Okay. All right. All right. So wonderful. Wonderful. I'm glad that worked out. I hope that you got as much out of it as I did. This has been a long time in the planning. Again, I met Anne back when I went to the 30th anniversary of the Bakken Center. So, Marc, Anne, thank you so much. And next week we will be looking at a different place to find that awareness, to find that openness. I'll be speaking to one of the world leaders on lucid dreaming. So please join me and Dr. Claire Johnson next week here on Pay Attention and Plant Your Seed.
Thanks for watching Pay Attention with Holly McNEILL. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next week on Wednesday at 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern.